Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday the 19th, Tuesday the 19th of May, and it's Pam Steele here, counselling psychologist and expert in building resilience. And gosh, do we need that with this whole lockdown and COVID-19. So yeah, I'm continuing today, as it's Mental Health Week, talking about mental health and the whole week the theme is being kind. And it's interesting that we, well, I was on the beach actually, that's why I'm a bit later, because a friend of mine, it's her 60th birthday, and not that she looks it, she looks great, and she picked up a pebble, and this was the pebble. And I thought, gosh, we all feel a bit like that occasionally, don't we? So so she very nicely loaned it to me. And we had I also had a swim with her. So there was quite a number of us all going in swimming, and then had a coffee afterwards. And do you know what? That's the best thing, I think, for mental health, is to have that lovely, albeit social, distancing relationship. And I have that with all my lovely doggy friends, and we all go out walking in the morning on the beach, and because we're very lucky to have a beach just near us. And yeah, and celebrating each other's birthdays, because it's not great fun to have a significant birthday on lockdown. And we had a really lovely time. So that was really good for my mental health. But yes, what we're all trying to do is to gain positive mental health, which is about feeling positive about ourselves, having confidence in ourselves and self-respect, or self-esteem as they call it, being resilient, you know, as we've been doing over all of these different blogs. Did I say it was blog 34? I'm not sure, but anyway. So it's certainly, and coping obviously as much as we can with everyday stresses and adversities. So, and obviously the whole lockdown period has been severely testing our mental health. And as I said before, a lot of people talking about saying that have really down days. So we have, you know, anxiety about our jobs. Will we have our jobs back? Anxiety about whether furloughing continues or whether we're still getting paid. Anxiety is about our abilities. And also, you know, when we're not achieving things every day, quite often we can feel less positive about ourselves. So yeah, there's a pyramid of mental health, and at the bottom of the pyramid is positive mental health. And then as we go up that pyramid, and this is all in it wasn't chapter 2, it's chapter 1 of my book, which you can download for free on crisisadvice.co.uk. But yeah, we move up that pyramid with the base being, hopefully most of us will have positive mental health, and the tip being sort of serious mental illness, where very few of us will have that, but it is quite serious. So we move on to what we call short-term distress, and really that's nothing. We can all manage that. That's like if we have to go for an interview, or sometimes people get worried about going for a doctor's appointment, or or a presentation, or doing something like this, and it's just short term. We get over it as soon as we've got through that. And then you get the one that there's been a lot of news about, the mental health issues, where 1 in 4 people is in the population experience at some time in their life a mental, not so serious, but a mental health issue, and that is things like depression or OCD, or general anxiety. So, and those hopefully with some maybe counselling or medication or a trip to the doctors can be dealt with. But it was interesting to see that 40% less requests for help with mental health at the moment are, you know, so it's down. And I think this will have an impact later on. It's down during lockdown. And finally, right at the tip, we have the serious mental health issues, such as acute depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, psychosis. So, but it only affects 1 to 2% of the population. So that's good. It seems like it's more because quite often, you know, it gets picked up by the papers. And then, of course, there's the suicidal stats. So from 2017, for example, there were 16 suicides per day, which is a lot. And actually 3/4 of those are male suicides. And I think it's quite often that male tend to do it, whereas women, they might attempt suicide as a cry for help, but not necessarily do it, as it were. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that later on. So what I wanted to do is, as it's being Kind Week, and you're going to go and hopefully check out those people who are neighbours, those people on their own, those people, friends, family, check out how they are and if they're okay. Then, you know, if they do start talking to you, it's really important to be able to listen effectively. So I'm just going to give you a few tips on that. Well, obviously, like we're doing now, eye-to-eye contact is essential because it shows attention. It's really important to do that, and actually be somewhere where there's a few distractions as possible, so that you're not distracted from what they're saying to you. Make sure that you put your own needs to one side when you're talking to them, so don't include yourself. Most of the conversation should be said by them. You know, they talk about around 60%. Check on body language to see if that person is looking particularly distressed or defensive about things. But demonstrating concern for them. All of this is sort of building up trust and rapport in your relationship, so they feel more comfortable to be able to talk about maybe quite difficult things. And then if you paraphrase, or if you say brief verbal affirmations like, oh, right, okay, I understand, I see, to show that you have an understanding and that you're still actively listening to them rather than wandering off in some other direction. So those are the things: eye-to-eye contact, few distractions, their needs, not yours, being non-judgmental, checking on their body language, building up trust and rapport, demonstrating concern, paraphrasing or brief verbal affirmations, and letting the other person talk mostly. So I'm going to leave it at that, and then we're going to look a little bit more about whether that person you're talking to suddenly starts demonstrating levels of what we call suicidal ideation. So serious stuff, but it's important to do that, and there may be people who are having some great difficulty, and we're going to be around to help them. Have a lovely day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.